Thank you for joining me. My name is Dylan, and this is Explorers League Classic WoW Part 2. In this video, we're going to go over a few more areas that I missed in the last one, and if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check out Part 1. A few of these I remember visiting when Vanilla WoW was live, but a couple of them are brand new to me. For all you subscribers out there, here is your shiny gold star, and let's get on with it. The first couple places are areas that you can see while you're on a flight path. They're kind of just eye candy as you go by. This one is Ironforge Airport, which you can see as you're flying north past Ironforge. You can see that my game client is doing something a little weird with creatures and people that are far away, but let's just ignore that. It was rumored that a flying mount could be obtained by getting a quest that led you to this area somehow. To get to this area, first we need to go up this path, which is right outside the Ironforge gates, and it leads to where the spirit healer usually is if you're dead. For this path, as well as the one to the next area, we're going to need some sort of slow fall item. We're aiming for this little hillside right here. So we're going to activate it, then mount up, then jump, and we'll have barely enough time. For the areas that you can get to by normal means, I like to show the method, but that's not going to be possible for every place in this video. After that first initial slow fall jump, there's not really any more tricks to this, you just kind of got to climb the mountain. Make your way up to these towers here, and then go right over this little hill. Then you just walk down the mountainside, or fall if you're going too fast like me. And then we're here, specifically right by what looks like a flight path. I'm really curious to know if this was the original intended location of the flight path for Ironforge, and I'll show you why. As you can see, this place is pretty decently populated with NPCs, but again, this is intended to be seen by the player. We have a dwarven building over here with a backward staircase that you can't get up normally. There's a few of these tanks scattered around the area. It's a little camp over here. And then we have a whole line of these airplanes that are being worked on by gnomes. Then we have a gnome over here whose name is unknown. I'm not sure if it's like that in live, but sure is here. Over in this direction we have this gate that leads to a tunnel, and the tunnel goes past this wall that you can see here and goes into the mountain towards Ironforge City. We're going to come back to that in just a minute. Over in this direction we have some more tanks, we have some more buildings, and as I go past I realize I want to check out the building and see if I can go inside, and nope, sure can't. As we head out in this direction, we see a frozen lake and a bunch of dwarves and trolls having an ongoing battle. The trolls actually keep spawning in from this cave right over here. Back over at the blocked off tunnel, I managed to figure out the GPS locations and teleport myself just a few feet so that I can get in. I teleported myself kind of in the wrong direction, but it's okay, we figured it out. This tunnel is why I think that the Ironforge Airport was the original flight path location. As we get to the end of this tunnel here, you'll see it kind of leads out into nothingness, but really we're in the middle of the mountain right above Ironforge. As you can see on the mini-map up here, we're right above the Deep Run tram entrance. And here it is. This next one is also a flight path bonus. It's the Shatterspear Troll Village that's hidden in the mountains. Just like the Ironforge Airport, I do think that players were intended to get here at some point. The path to get here is actually pretty fun, and interestingly, none of the tutorials that I looked up on YouTube to remind me of how to get here use the method that I use in this one. I had to figure out the second half by piecing together memories from over 15 years ago. So first thing, we're going to mount up and take this path over here. Keep to the right through this little valley, and we're going to end up at a big tree. We're going to go up around the tree and then drop down and go up this little hill. Continue along and make sure not to fall down to the left. And then we're going to come to the second big tree and we're going to hop our way up that and around again. And it's going to let us get up this hill. Then we follow this ridge up to the right. It can be kind of hard to see through the trees. Up in this next section is where I diverge from the videos that I saw online. They have you go over to the left-hand side and either drop down a bunch of times and lose a bunch of health and recover, or, as a mage, slow fall since you can slow fall for a long time. That's not what we do here. We're going to go up to this little divot and then jump to our right. We're going to skim over the fact that it took me about 10 minutes to get this jump while recording. Now we follow this down and to the right, and across this little ridge, being careful not to fall down to the left, doing a little hop, and then we make our way down these hills. It's a little dangerous if you're mounted. You can end up flinging yourself off the hill, but we made it. Right here is where the real fun begins. So down below, you can see some water, just a little tiny river. We're going to jump, use our slow fall item, deactivate it at the right point, and drop straight down into that pool. I definitely did not die a few times trying this. Now we make our way over to these rocks here for the second part of the waterfall. Being careful not to launch ourselves too far, we're just going to walk off. We're going to land on more rocks down below. Now we just got to heal ourselves once, instead of 5 or 6 times like the other path. Now that we're back up to full health, instead of continuing down the waterfall, we're going to jump over to this rock over here, and then jump to our right. And now we are in the Shatterspear Troll Village. Over here is our group of dancing trolls. We have some drummers off to the side here. And then up at the top of this area, there's actually a named NPC that's friendly. Back over on this side, near where we came down, there's this cave over here that doesn't really have anything in it besides these tablets. Continuing on, over this way we have another building with 2 more named NPCs. This time they're hostile. Because this place has NPCs that are friendly to both factions, as well as all of the trolls being neutral, it makes me think that this was intended as some sort of neutral meeting zone for the factions. This area was my guild's favorite meeting spot. For these next 2, we're headed back to Teneris, just southeast of the Caverns of Time we were in last video, to this little island. Our very flirty and extremely forward friend Winky over here is the only person on this island just sunbathing. This next location is technically reachable on live, but you need water walking, and we're just going to do it the easy way. We're headed down to where this little compass is. We're headed to the bottom left portion of that circle in the map there. And here we go. It's a ways out here. It's gonna take a minute. My character's going 10 times as fast as normal right now, and it still takes this long. To get out here normally, you need to have water walking and a speed bonus as well as a mount, or else you'll just get fatigued and die. Now that we're at the circle, we can dive down and we see this little light down there. That's our target. As you can see coming in, there's these gnomish looking buildings here just down at the bottom. And if you go too far down, you die. I'm literally looking around in confusion after that happened. On our second try, we can take a better look, and it's not much to look at, but why is it here? It's so far out in the ocean. Why is this stuff at the bottom? And it's very interesting that as soon as you get close, you instantly die and your spirit is teleported to Gadget Sand. I don't know of any other secret place that does that, not even Highball. Now we're going to go back to Winky's Island, say hi to her again. But this time, we're going to be heading south. We're going to go along the coast to the south, to this little hidden area down here. This first area is only kinda hidden. It's pretty easy to get to, and I don't know if any quests send you here. It's been too long, I don't remember. As we come up on this area, which is called Land's End Beach, we can see that it's just covered in turtles. We've got a downed airplane over here. But out here is our true destination, this group of islands off in the distance. Just like the last one, you normally need water walking and a speed boost to get over here, but we're just gonna swim real fast. And now we're here, and even though this is through the fatigue zone, for some reason it has NPCs, it has enemies, it has all of these buildings. There's both gnomish and goblin technology here. It's speculated that there was a quest at one point that either brought you out here on a boat or otherwise teleported you out here somehow. Over here, there's a full-on oil rig just in the middle between these two islands. The second island is similar to the first, just with a couple of different style houses here. I like the pineapple wallpaper they got going on in here. Very stylish. For our next one, we're going east over to Stranglethorn Vale, over to this cave, and we're going to jump up into the mountains. Our mission here is to get up to the secret waterfall and the quote-unquote Bengal Tiger Cave. We run past these buildings, and then we go up this hill on top of this wall. Then we're going to jump up onto the backside of this broken tree here. This part's easier than it looks, just keep holding forward and jump and you'll get up. Now we're going to make our way over to the next tree, and we're definitely not going to slide down to the left and have to reset. Once we climb up and behind the tree, we go up the hill, and then we're going to have to dismount for this next part and do a couple really precise wall jumps, which definitely did not take me an additional 10 minutes. Iron Toast here is taunting me because he can get up here a lot easier than I can, and he's a bot. From here we just go to the left a bit and head down these hills. Alright, and here we are at the secret waterfall. This place kinda seems like it was meant to be seen from a flight path like the earlier two, but it definitely isn't. There was rumored to be a secret vendor in this area that would sell the Bengal tiger mount, which is only available as a rare drop from a nearby raid. I'm very curious what the intended purpose for this area was, since it's so tucked away in the mountains behind this raid. And right up here is the infamous Bengal tiger cave where the vendor was supposed to show up from time to time. And that's kinda it for this area. The rest of it is just weird glitchy landscape like Quel'Thalas. Our next starting point is not far from where we just were, down in Booty Bay, and we're gonna go west, way west, out into the ocean. This one is weird because there's not gonna be much to see out here other than the name of the zone, which itself is interesting. Just like with the underwater village, we gotta travel a little ways out here to get to our destination. And here we are, we're at Gillijim's Isle, which is clearly a reference to Gilligan's Island, but it's also a starting area for the trolls that was removed in Alpha. Even though there's no landmass here, it has its own general chat that you can talk in. There was something else out here that I was really trying to get to that was apparently removed even before this version of WoW that I'm playing, which was an old version of Outlands, even more expansive than the one that I found in Deadmines in the previous video. Apparently you can add the map files back into the game so you can get there in a later version like mine, but I couldn't find those files online, all of the links were dead, so I'm currently on the hunt for those. Next up we have Grim Batol, which is in the wetlands. This one intrigues me because it has a lot of lore significance, and it's been in the game since the beginning, but it wasn't really used up until Cataclysm. It was a dwarven kingdom that was abandoned after it became cursed. Then a band of orcs moved in, enslaved a great red dragon, and forced her to breed an army for them. Then the orcs were driven out by the dragons, and what you're seeing here is the remains of their caravan as they were trying to flee. As we get closer to the gates, you'll start to see more and bigger red dragons. This goes straight from being a level 25 to 30-ish zone into max level elite creatures. The reason they're all neutral to me is because I turned GM mode on, so I could run through here without getting killed. There's one huge dragon here, and dozens of these dragonkin soldiers all the way up this path. For some reason they chose to leave this area completely open but heavily guarded when they could have easily closed one of these gates, just like they did with Gilneas. They clearly had big plans for this area though, as when it finally was released in Cataclysm, it was central to the main plot. The Twilight's Hammer, a sinister cult who worshipped the old gods, took up residence here and allied with Deathwing. Unfortunately, you can't get past the gate here, and there's nothing beyond it even if you could. It's just a mountain. But there is a little bit more. If we head up here to the top of this highest peak, there is a little Easter egg. Up here we can see a makeshift camp with 2 dwarf skeletons. And if we go out here and take a look back at the mountain, you can see a cry for help. Just another little extra on a flight path. Now we're going to head to Azshara Crater, an unfinished PvP battleground. Here is the actual zone of Azshara with a big old crater right in the middle, so I assume that this takes place in the past. Maybe this was initially planned to be part of the Caverns of Time before they were scrapped for vanilla. Apparently this game mode played very similarly to the Warcraft 3 mod Dota, which was super popular and spawned the entire MOBA genre. This would have been years before League of Legends or Dota 2. I wonder if the MOBA scene would be any different had they released this. Over here we have these gateways, each one of them leads to one of the faction bases. This is what I presume to be the Horde base. And over here I assume this is the Alliance base, even though there's one kinda Horde-looking building. In the center there's a pool that we pass over here, and these giant dragon statues. Now it looks like the center of this next area is empty, but in fact there's a weird invisible tower here that once we go in, it's all dark and purple, completely white on the outside. It has a central chamber here, purple sky. It's very strange. Strangely enough, as I was flying around Azshara, I noticed this temple that looks very similar to the one that we were just in. And that brings us to our final secret location of this video. The problem is that we can only teleport to it using GM privileges. And here we are. It is not where the default Windows XP background was photographed. This is actually the Emerald Dream. In the lore, druids are able to access this realm, which is like a mirror image of Azeroth. In-game, this was planned as the location for a 40-man raid in Vanilla WoW. This area is massive and has a few different zones. Here we have the Emerald Forest, which has these unique trees not used anywhere else in the game. These different subzones of the Emerald Dream are miles apart in-game and take several minutes to get to, even when traveling at 30x speed. Let's just look around here for a second. Now we're going to head over to the next subzone called the Verdant Fields. This area is even more expansive than the Emerald Forest and is covered in these flowers that are as tall as trees. I was actually very surprised to get into Emerald Dream the first time because I just typed .tele Emerald Dream on a whim. But now we're going to head to our last little section, which is the Emerald Statue. This statue here and these other structures are also unique to this part of the game, and these are way far away from the other two zones that we just visited. If you want to take a deeper look into any of these zones or just any cut content, you should check out Haven Games. His videos are amazing, but unfortunately he passed away in 2017. He even has a video on old Outlands, which I mentioned that I'm trying to get to earlier on. All of the proceeds from his YouTube channel and Patreon are now going to cancer research. This video is dedicated to Haven. Thank you for joining me.